Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Noah Sanford here. Today we're going to have a super brief video on the most effective way that you can tie up your drop shot for any bass fishing scenario. Now if you're familiar with bass fishing at all, most everybody already knows what a drop shot rig is. It's one of the most popular, one of the most common, and one of the most used rigs in bass fishing, I would say. And it's, there's a good reason for that. It's very effective all throughout the year. Summertime it works great, wintertime it works great. All throughout the year, it's an awesome way to fish, and you catch a lot of fish doing it. Now, the problem comes with a lot of people not knowing how to tie it correctly. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the most effective way that I've found to keep everything straight, keep everything in line, and make sure that your bait has the best presentation when it's in the water. So the knot we're gonna be using for this today is the San Diego Jam knot. If you're not familiar with that knot, I'm gonna go ahead and tie it really quick so you can see it quickly. But I do have another video from the other day that I posted specifically just on how to tie the knot. So you guys can go ahead and check that out as well. I'll link that down below in the description. But basically what we're gonna do, the first step, and the most important step too, when you get your hook, your drop shot hook, you wanna make sure that you are running your line through the front of the eyelet here, okay? So whichever way that the hook point is facing, that's the way that you want the line to go through. A lot of people don't think it matters which way it does, but it does. And I'll show you why in just a little bit. So you got your hook, whether that's an offset hook or just a regular hook like this, go ahead and put it through the front of that eyelet. Once you do that, if I can do it here, there we go. Once you do that, you wanna let your hook slide about 18 inches down the line. So you want quite a bit of slack over here on your tag end. And that's because you're gonna be using this tag end as what goes in between the hook and the weight. And I'll show you that in just a sec here. So once you get that excess there, just like how I said, we're gonna go ahead and tie this San Diego Jam knot. So we're gonna go ahead and take our tag end here. Here we go. Take our tag end. And for this, we're gonna go ahead and tie the exact same way I showed you in the other video. Taking your two together, wrapping it over the back side of your first finger, and then giving it, 5 or 6 wraps going around there. Once you have that done, go ahead and put that tag end through the bottom and bring it back up through that loop you just created with your first finger. We're gonna pull that through. And like I said, I have a whole video just dedicated to this knot. So if I'm going too fast, go ahead and check that out. Now that we have our San Diego Jam knot, we're gonna cinch it together, wet the line, and pull it down tight. There it goes. Now, what a lot of people mess up, they go ahead and say, all right, cool, there we go. We have our hook, we have our tag end, now we're gonna tie our weight down here, and we have our drop shot rig. That is correct. However, you see how right here, the hook is kind of crooked on our line? It's not sitting up very straight. You see how it's kind of off to the side there? You don't want that, especially if you are in a very clear water fishery. Now, you might be thinking, why does it matter if your hook's a little bit crooked? The bass isn't gonna care, it's not gonna make a difference. I will tell you what, I have fished this rig both ways without doing the trick I'm about to show you and with doing the trick I'm about to show you. My hookup ratio is unmatched. You get way more bites once you do this last step after you tie that knot and you have your tag end. Especially if you're on a clear water reservoir where those fish see a lot of baits all the time, you wanna make sure your presentation is perfect for that. And so you notice here how my hook is like sideways. It's not sitting correctly there. So if I put my worm or my bait or wherever I'm gonna put on that, it's gonna be sitting sideways. It's not gonna look right in the water. So the last step, and most importantly, just like that first step, what you're gonna do is take your tag end here and go ahead and put it back through the front eye of that hook, just like we did in the beginning, putting it through the exact same way that we did as if we were tying another knot. And what that's gonna do, once we put that line back through the front of the eyelet there and pull on it, you will see now our hook stands once you pull that down there. So yeah, you get it through and then pull it down so there's a little bit of pressure. You will see that our hook now sits perfectly straight on there with the line. Now that you've got your hook sitting perfectly straight on there, you can go ahead and tie on or put on whatever weight you're using and you'll be ready to go. If you guys are wondering what the best terminal tackle to use for the drop shot setup like this, I'm gonna go ahead and link all of my favorite hooks, weights, line, everything down there in the description that I like to use for the drop shot technique. I'm also gonna come out with a couple more videos, more in depth on that stuff as well. So keep an eye out for those. All right guys, there you have it. there is the most effective way to make sure that your drop shot is sitting perfectly in the water and you have the best presentation as possible every single time. Before you click out of this video, if you want a chance to come out and try this drop shot technique on the water, we run Las Vegas Sport Fishing, a premier fishing guide service on Lake Mead, Lake Mojave, as well as Willow Beach. We are located just 25 miles from the Las Vegas Strip. So go ahead and check out LasVegasSportFishing.com. Book your next trip. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.